Have you ever ended a day with a to-do list longer than when you woke up, even though you barely stopped moving? Q. Answered emails in line for coffee, skimmed reports during meetings, pushed notifications between bites of lunch yet as the sun sets. Their scoreboard shows a string of half-started tasks and 0 clear wins. That restless, sinking feeling is today's paradox. The more you do, the less you finish. Delusion begins with dopamine. Each time you tap reply, jot a sticky note, or flip to another browser tab, your brain registers novelty and rewards you with a microdose of pleasure. It feels productive because neurons are firing. In reality, you're re-snacking on activity calories-empty bursts that never add up to the full meal of completion. Psychologists call this the busy badge effect. We use busyness as social currency, flashing it like a VIP pass to prove value. The badge sparkles, but the work stays unfinished. Consider the story of Claire, a project manager at a global ad agency. Claire prided herself on agility. Slack pings answered in seconds, daily stand-ups, multitasked while assembling Gantt charts. Her calendar looked like a game of Tetrascholar blocks stacked edge to edge. Yet campaign deadlines slipped. She logged 70-hour weeks only to watch junior colleagues hit targets with 50. Frustrated, Claire hired a productivity coach who asked her to install a time-tracking app. Set. The first week's audit was brutal. 42% of her hours were context switching. Another 26% was shallow work that generated no deliverables. In 7 days, Claire had spent less than 12 hours on deep, result-bearing effort. No wonder her projects crawled. Science backs her experience. A University of California Irvine study found that office workers switch screens or tasks every 47 seconds on average. After each switch, it takes about 25 minutes to regain full focus. Multiply that by a normal workday and you're living in fragmentation purgatory, a place where attention is perpetually resetting and big goals suffocate beneath a landslide of Neurologically, the culprit is attention residue, a term coined by researcher Sophie Laroy. A portion of your working memory stays lodged in task, like a spinning beach ball on a Mac that won't disappear. That residue slows cognitive processing, inflates error rates, and forces the brain to juggle two contexts at once. You think you're multitasking, but you're really tasked. MRI scans show the prefrontal cortex lighting up in starts and stops, expending extra glucose every time it key. You can actually deplete your brain's metabolic fuel before lunchtime simply by toggling tabs. Now add in the Zeigarnik affect the mind's tendency to obsess over unfinished tasks. Each fragment left dangling tugs at your subconscious like an unattended alarm. The more fragments, the louder the mental noise, further draining the bandwidth you need to finish anything substantial. Doing more tasks simultaneously amplifies Zeigarnik's pool and drowns your executive function in static. Let's zoom out to a historical example. The Manhattan Project during World War II. Most know it as the frenetic race to build the atomic bomb. Yet its internal structure was a masterclass in focus. Los Alamos scientists were sequestered from unrelated military information and assigned one mission-critical question at a time. Despite the war's chaos, the team achieved unprecedented breakthroughs in compressed time. Contrasted with today's knowledge workers who juggle project portfolios, personal branding, inbox, triage and continuous learning all before lunch. The bomb was built with single-threaded focus. SPOW. Our daily slides decks collapse under multi-threaded distraction. The corporate world is catching on. Microsoft experimented with a focus mode pilot where teams blocked 2-hour windows of communication silence daily. Output of complex tasks rose by 23%, while self-reported stress fell. Groups, requests for meetings during others' focused blocks, spiked proof that culture, not tools, locks the paradox in place. If everyone isn't aligned, one person's focus window becomes another's frustration portal. Gah! You see the trap. How do you escape? Start with a brutal truth. You can't finish everything, so choose what matters. Bet choosing isn't a one-time event. It's a system. Let's build that system in 3 layers. Layer 1. The daily Keystone. Each morning, identify the single task whose completion will make the day a win, even if nothing else gets done. Not 5 tasks, not 3-1. Write it on a sticky note and place it in plain sight. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett notes that clear visual cues prime the brain's predictive coding system, aligning subconscious pattern detection toward that target all day. When interruptions arise, your eyes flick to the sticky note, and the cost of diversion becomes explicit. Will this Slack thread help finish the Keystone or not? Claire adopted the practice, and within a month, delivered to stalled campaigns. Layer 2, time-boxed, deep work, skill. Inspired by Cal Newport's concept, schedule 90-minute blocks for undiluted attention on the Keystone or its immediate successors. 90 minutes matches the brain's ultradian rhythm peak, push past and efficiency tumbles, defying the block with visible signals calendar status in flight, noise-canceling headphones, or a desk flag, disabled notifications, close email, hide the phone. If coworkers need you, remember. The world survived millennia without instant replies. Your project can survive 90 minutes. Layer 3. Tactical triage. At day's end, perform a 5-minute sweep called the closing ritual. Review unfinished fragments. Decide consciously whether they merit tomorrow's Keystone list. Delegate or delete. This ritual harnesses the Zeigarnik effect to your advantage by either closing the loop or formally parking it. Sleep quality improves when the brain trusts that dangling threads have a parking spot and don't need midnight rumination. True emergencies are rare. A health crisis, a crashed server, an irate flagship, clientees override the Keystone. Everything else is noise misbranded as urgency. The Eisenhower matrix helps here. Label tasks by urgency and importance. Skill. Find much of what drenches your day and adrenaline falls into not urgent. Not important or urgent, but not important. Empower teammates to route false alarms elsewhere and educate stakeholders on your focused philosophy. Surprisingly, most respect grows, not shrinks, when you decline busy work. Let's shift gears to personal life because the paradox sneaks home with us. Picture Saturday chores. You start laundry then while searching for detergent. Care. You notice a messy drawer which reminds you of a broken hinge, which sends you to the garage for tools where you see boxers from last month's move, and soon the laundry sits wet. While 3 new chores spawn. The curious. Workplace practice. Pick one household. Keystone finish. Families who implement a room of the day rule. Cleaning only 1 space fully rather than half cleaning 5. Report higher satisfaction and more free weekend hours. Now, a word on digital clutter. Smartphones amplify the do more. Finish less paradox at 5G speed. Each app is a microtask factory equipped with streaks, badges, feeds, and infinite scroll. Deleting apps outright may feel drastic, But you can declaw them, move social icons to a secondary screen, disable red badges, and log out after each session so the barrier to immediate diversion rises. Studies show that adding even a 2-second friction delay like typing a password cuts impulsive checks by nearly half. Another subtle saboteur is false progress cues, like the partially filled progress bar when you create a project in Asana, or the check mark that appears when you draft an email but haven't sent it. These cues stroke achievement craving without achieving, combat them with output metrics. Zeigarnik. Track only deliverables shipped, code merged, pages written, or prototypes tested. Claire replaced her to-do list count with a completed deliverable scoreboard. Watching real output climb became addictive in a healthy way and drowned her appetite for busy work bragging. Let's explore multitasking myths further. In 2009, Stanford researchers tested self-identified heavy multitaskers against light multitaskers on tasks involving attention, control, and working memory. Heavy multitaskers performed worse across the board. They were more easily distracted, retained less information, and struggled to switch tasks sufficiently, the very skills they thought they'd mastered. This study suggests frequent context switching rewires the brain to prefer novelty over sustained effort, like training a muscle to twitch instead of lift. Opponents argue that certain fields require multitasking, think medicine or firefighting. Yet professionals in those fields rely on hardwired protocols to reduce on-the-fly decisions. After triage, the trauma team assigns each nurse a specific micro for access, meant so each person focuses narrowly rather than diffusely. They chunk tasks into sequences, finishing micro batches fully before switching. Completion, not digital juggling, still rules the day. Let's tackle emails, the kingpin of microtask addiction. Here, a study by the University of British Columbia asked participants to limit inbox checks to 3 times daily versus check-in as usual. Stress scores dropped significantly, and self-reported productivity rose. Why? Email operates on a variable reward schedule. Sometimes you get a dopamine-boosting praise note, sometimes a boring invoice. Variable schedules are addictive. Limiting checks turns them into predictable, manageable events. Adopt on the 4th of March 11 rule. Open email at 11 a.m., 3 p.m. and 4. Handle replies in bursts, then close. Partner it with delayed deliveries so late-night composing won't encourage late-night conversations. A Carmen protest. But my boss expects instant replies. Challenge the assumption. When Claire negotiated a 1-hour response buffer instead of instant ping-pong, her manager agreed readily. He simply hadn't considered the cognitive toll. Most leaders care more about outcomes than slack speed once you show the math. Fewer interruptions yield faster project completion. Let's talk culture change. Badgen a company scoreboard not of hours logged, but of projects finished per quarter. Teams would gravitate toward completion metrics automatically. Silicon Valley venture capitalist John Doerr popularized the OK framework objectives and key results precisely to focus on measurable endings. Completion sets motivational flywheels spinning. Busyness breaks them. Now we'll integrate a microflip habit tailored to this paradox. Choose a 2-hour window tomorrow, say 9 to 11 a.m. before it starts. Write your Keystone task in giant letters and stick it to your monitor. Turn phone to airplane mode. Mute Slack and set a timer. Set. When the timer ends, document your progress in a tangible artifact. Then allow a 15-minute roam period to reward the brain with low-stakes variety. This cycle honors focus while acknowledging human need for novelty. Repeat in the afternoon. 2 cycles a day often deliver more finished work than an entire week of juggling. Finally, let's examine the emotional roots of busy work. Many of us fear confronting a single worthy goal because finishing invites judgment. A draft novel can't be criticized if it never gets past chapter 3. Task hopping becomes armor against failure. Recognize that defense mechanism. Completion is an act of charisma. Your idea faces the world's glare. Reframe that glare as data. Each finished project teaches more than 10 abandoned drafts. Said. The confidence loop flips. Finish gives, receive feedback, gives iterate better, gives finish faster. As we wrap, here's a quick reflection exercise. Close your eyes and picture your proudest professional moment. Chances are it revolves around something you completed, an app launched, a client wowed, a problem solved, not the dizzy hustle that filled the space around it. Let the memory anchor your new metric of success. Finished value, not frantic volume. Tomorrow morning, when your calendar lights up and notifications ping, remember the paradox. Doing more is easy. Trade the busy badge for the builder's badge. Pick the Keystone. Guard deep work. Close your day with triage. And watch how quickly the scoreboard flips. Less juggling, more jewels in the crown. Do less but finish infinitely more.